welcome back to Sunday School at Home. Today, for the month of August, we're going to be starting a new series. And what are we calling it, you guys?
We're calling it Comfy Couch Series.
Our Comfy Couch Series. We want you guys to come and sit with us as we read our Bible together, as we practice our scripture chapter, and as we do a little craft drawing to help remember the story. To get started, we're going to be working on our Psalm 23 memory chapter. And today, how much are we doing, you guys?
We're doing the entire chapter.
The entire chapter. Pretty exciting, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to be able to do it?
Yes.
Yes, I hope
think
so. So I have my Bible here, and I have my marker for Psalm 23. Hopefully you guys... Isla, have you been practicing your Psalm 23?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Hopefully you guys have been practicing at home. I'm going to give this to Ezra, and you guys are going to repeat after me. Ezra is going to correct me if I make any mistakes, because even who makes mistakes? I do all the time, right? I get mixed up, just like we talked about in another episode. So why don't we get started, and you guys repeat after me. We have 6 whole verses. So it's going to take a little while, and you might think, oh, this is so much. But if we practice it a little bit every day, you guys will be able to memorize it just like I have. And hopefully I have. I might get a few words wrong. So here we go. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd.
The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd.
I have what I need.
I have what I need. I have what I need.
He lets me lie down in green pastures.
He lets me lie down in green pastures. He lets me lie down in green pastures.
He leads me beside quiet waters.
He leads me beside quiet waters. He leads me beside quiet waters.
He renews my life.
He renews my life. He renews my life.
He leads me along the right paths for His name's sake.
He leads me along the right path for His name's sake. He leads me along the right path for His name's sake.
Even when I go through the darkest valley.
Even when I go through the darkest valley. Even when He goes through the darkest valley.
I fear no danger, for you are with me.
I fear no danger, for you are with me. You fear no danger, that you are with me.
Your rod and staff, they comfort me.
Your rod and staff, they comfort me. Your rod and staff, they comfort me.
You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemy. He prepares a table before me
in the presence of my enemies.
In the presence of my enemies.
You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows.
You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows.
Only goodness and faithful love will pursue me.
Only goodness and faithful love will pursue me. Only faith and love will pursue me.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life. All the days of my life.
And I will dwell in the house of the Lord as long as I live.
And I will dwell in the house of the Lord for as long as I live. I dwell in the house of the Lord as long as I live.
Wow, that was a lot of verses. I hope you guys were able to follow along. And now we're going to go get started with our story, which is about King David, who wrote Psalm 23. And today the story is about our very psalm that we are memorizing. Why don't you guys come and sit with us on the couch and we can read through it together.
Mommy, I saw a fly.
All right, let's open our story for today. It's called, what's it called, Atticus?
The Good Shepherd.
The Good Shepherd. Underneath it says, David the Shepherd King, from Psalm 51, 2 Samuel 7, and a paraphrase of
Psalm 23.
Psalm 23,
What's
the
a
one we're
paraphrase?
memorizing. A paraphrase, that's a very good question. A paraphrase is when they take something and they change the words a little bit to help us understand it better.
Okay.
So here we go. David was a shepherd, but when God looked at him, he saw a king. Sure enough, when David grew up, that's just what he became. And David was a great king. He had a heart like God's heart, full of love. Wouldn't it be good to have a heart like that?
Mm-hmm.
So filled with love. Now that didn't mean he was perfect, because he did some terrible things. He even murdered a man. No, David made a big mess of his life. But God can take even the biggest mess and make it work in his plan. I need a new heart, Lord, David prayed, because mine is full of sin. Make me clean inside. God heard David's prayer. He forgave David, and he made David a promise. I will make you great, David. And one day a king will be born into your family, and he will heal the whole world. Oh, what king was that?
Jesus.
Jesus, that's right. Did you know that David was a songwriter too? In fact, his songs were so good, they might have been in the top 40 charts, if they'd been invented then. David's songs are like prayers. They are called psalms. And this one is called the Song of the Shepherd. It's probably number 1 on the psalm charts. And it goes like this. God is my shepherd, and I am his little lamb. He feeds me, he guides me, he looks after me. I have everything I need. Is this sounding a little bit familiar?
No.
No?
Not very.
Does it sound a little bit like the same things it's
Yeah.
talking about are the same things it talks about in our Psalm 23 scripture chapter?
A little bit like it.
Yeah, right? He feeds me, he guides me, he looks after me. I have everything I need, right? God is my shepherd. I have what I need. He lets me lie down in green pastures. A green pasture is what a lamb likes to lie in and what they eat.
That's probably like it. So that to me is.
Do you think that's you?
No.
Because God's the shepherd and I am his little lamb. Which lamb would you be? I think I'd be this little lamb here.
I
like
would
this
be
dark
that.
blue. That lamb.
I'd be that one. Do you know why I would be that lamb?
Why?
It's all about like Shaun the sheep.
He's a bit like Shaun the sheep. Oh, that's fun. Okay, let's keep going. So we did this part, and then it says, inside my heart is very quiet as lying still in soft green grass, in a meadow by a little stream. Even when I walk through the dark, scary, lonely places, I won't be afraid, because my shepherd knows where I am. Isn't that so great? God knows where we are. He's with us, and we don't have to be scared of those places. He is here with me. He keeps me safe. He rescues me. He makes me strong and brave. He's getting wonderful things ready for me, especially for me, everything I ever dreamed of. He fills my heart so full of happiness, I can't hold it all inside. Wherever I go, I know God's never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love will go too. God gave David that song to sing to his people so they could know that he loved them and would always look after them, like a shepherd loves his sheep. And one day God was going to do something that would inspire thousands upon thousands of new songs. God was going to show his people once and for all just how much he loved them. Another shepherd was coming, a greater shepherd. He would be called the Good Shepherd. And this shepherd was going to lead all of God's lambs back to the place where they had always belonged, close to God's heart. Who is that good shepherd?
Jesus.
Jesus. So this story even though it's about David, it is pointing us to Jesus. It reminds us that Jesus is like a shepherd who can bring us back to where we belong. Do you think that's a good thing? Please sit down. No, you can't. We're gonna keep doing our story with our friends. And why don't we get out our paper? Friends, you can get out a paper. And we're just going to write down the title and draw a few things that help remind us of this story so that we can think about it throughout the week. So let's put our book over here. We're going to get our fresh paper and we're going to write the title of our story from today. Do you guys remember what it was?
The Good Shepherd.
The Good Shepherd. So let's write that here in the middle. We're going to write the, T, H, E. Then underneath we're going to write good. Can you write good for me, Ezra? Tell me how to spell it.
G-O-O-D.
O-O-D. Now, Atticus, can you tell me how to write shepherd?
No.
No? How about the sh part?
S-H.
S-H-E-P-H-E-R-D. There we go, the Good Shepherd. And now we're just going to draw a couple of things that remind us of this story, what it was about. So what's something really obvious that we could draw?
Like a lamb.
Like a lamb. So I'm going to do that right here. Although it doesn't say the good sheep, does it? But I suppose if you're going to be a shepherd, you have to have some sheep to take care of. What do you think someone who takes care of goats is called? Maybe a goat herd. Do you think?
Well, why is it called a shepherd and not a sheep herd?
Well, that is a very good question. You guys are friends. You can go ahead and follow along to make your own sheep. I maybe should have made his wool a little higher over here. I'll just fluff it up. This is an extra fluffy sheep. And he's got two cute little eyes and a little nose like this. I'll make his eyes a little bit bigger. And a couple of feet down here. 2 front feet, 2 back feet. And I'm gonna give him a little puffy tail. There we go. So we heard about sheep in this story. Who are the sheep?
They are God's people.
God's people. So like me and you, right? The Lord is our shepherd.
Everyone.
People who believe in God. Can you sit up, Atticus, and tell our friends what else could we draw on our Good Shepherd picture? So we have a sheep.
A shepherd.
A shepherd. Do you think I could draw a very good shepherd?
I'm not sure.
I guess I will try. What does a shepherd look like?
Maybe a shepherd's staff.
Oh, a shepherd's staff. Your rod and staff, they comfort me. Just like in our Bible verse, our Bible chapter. So this is kind of like a shepherd's staff.
What do shepherds use staffs for?
Oh, that's a great question. They use their staff, they could use it to fight off animals, to give them a whack if they need to, if they get too close to their sheep.
So what's the hook
They
could swing them in it, and they could swing them around.
They could swing them around if
and
they
make
caught
them too dizzy.
Too dizzy to catch their sheep. That's pretty funny. That's a good idea, Atticus. You should tell some shepherds to try that. Ezra, do you know what the hook is for? Someone told you.
No.
Yes, you know.
No, I just was laughing at the Atticus thing.
Do you know what the hook part is for?
No.
You don't? It's so that if a sheep fell down somewhere, then the shepherd can use the hook to hook it underneath the sheep's belly and pull it back up to safety. Pretty good idea, huh? Or also if you want to hook one of the, a wolf or somebody who's trying to get the sheep and swing them around and make them dizzy.
Yeah.
Okay, what else can we draw? He lets us lie down in green pastures. We could draw a bit of grass here. to show the green pastures. Oh, and there was something right at the beginning that I really liked. It talked about King David.
Quiet waters.
Right, there's waters. But what did it talk about in the story? King David was special because he had a heart
of gold.
A heart of gold. Nope, a heart like
God's.
A heart like God's, right? Filled with love. So we're going to do a big heart here to remind us that David had a heart like God's heart. We're not done yet. We're going to keep. Do you have any other things you'd like to draw on here?
Well, maybe a river.
Maybe a river. We could do a little river in the background. Although in the story it doesn't as much talk about it. There we go.
But didn't it talk about quiet waters?
Yeah. And what else does it say in the paraphrase? Why don't you pop it open there, Atticus, and we can see what else it says. And what else about King David? King David. He was a king. We could put his crown up here. Okay, Ezra, you go ahead and open it. I wonder how fancy King David's crown was. Do you think it had a big part in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you think it was covered with gemstones?
Who knows?
Who knows? I'll put a few gemstones on it. He was king after all. Can you flip to our story? I think this is pretty good.
That looks pretty good.
You think it's pretty good? Well, let's see if there's one more thing. Quickly pop it open.
Where is the
Other way. Over here.
Just past
There.
here.
Oh, he was a songwriter. That's our last thing that I'm going to put. King David wrote a lot of the Psalms, which are special songs that are kind of like what?
Worship songs.
Worship songs, and they are like prayers too, right? So I'm going to put all these music notes around here, and it can remind us that David was a special songwriter. What a fun story we did today. What do you guys think?
It was a good story.
It was a good story, wasn't it?
Thanks for joining us this week, and keep practicing the Psalm 23 scripture verse. Hope you join us next week. Bye!